Last we left off, you all fought a dangerous battle with Rahadin and several spiders in the upper levels of Ravenloft. It was looking grim. Both Temperance and Radovan were downed in battle, but the tides quickly turned when, after being healed, Temperance unleashed a massive witch bolt that left Rahadin second-guessing your strength, forcing him to tactfully retreat. During the next few moments of solitude, Panton managed to find his way into the mysterious fortress that was inside the octagonal room. Hauling out several rare items and a few much-needed greater healing potions, you then made your way back down the castle and into the depths below. Once there, you encountered several traps. Anderson, caught in the elevator trap carrying the massive skull of Argynvost, was saved by a quick-thinking Radovan who leapt up, sliced the rope, and in the end, Anderson was able to return the favor when Radovan was caught by the teleport trap and sent to the flooded prison ward. While fleeing, you happened to hear the cry from what turned out to be Emil, the captive partner of Zulika, as well as Mad Mary, the mother of the young woman Gertruda, who now resides within Castle Ravenloft. You eventually made it to the teleporter room. After throwing a stone into the fire, all of you leapt into the flames, sending you to where you now stand, somewhere in the depths of the Amber Temple. That is, all of you except for Emil. As you stand now in this foreign room, the effects of the teleportation spell wearing off, the tingling of your skin coming back to be able to feel, you start to feel pinpricks. Cold, extreme cold. You start to see your breath in front of you. The ground beneath your feet sending chills up your legs. It is almost unbearable. Can't remember if I described the room last time you were here, but I'll describe it again. Looking around, it's dim light. The light casting from above, you look behind you and you see a golden staircase spiraling up. And as you look up in that general direction, you can see the entire back wall lined with bookshelves. Sprawling up as far as the eye can see, ladders disappearing off into the sky. Basically no end in sight. Candelabras floating via magic, just kind of floating in the air, swirling above in the room. This room, however, dimly lit. The floor underneath of the ceiling above you, being the floor of the room above, you see in the east, west, and southern corners of this room, large, amber, 6-foot tall, basically chunks of resin. You see several scattered crates, unopened, littering the room. In the southeast corner of the room, you see a hole, gaping chasm in the wall, leading off into rooms unknown. What do you do?
Hey, so I know we just kind of used a lot of ability and everything. But can we find a place to, I don't know, take a nap and whatnot that isn't located in the very same spot that one could teleport to?
As Panton's saying this, Radovan will cast Produce Flame to kind of check in with everybody.
I think Honora's just laying on her back and breathing heavy at this point.
Okay.
Oh, John, I know we were getting towards the end of werewolf form. Is that gone now?
Yeah, we'll say for the sake of simplicity that that it is the effects have finally worn off.
Alright.
And it's broccoli cheddar soup.
Slurpee still.
Ooh,
Ooh, broccoli cheese. Oh, that's legit.
It's
Slurpee
homemade.
slurp soup.
good for this weather.
As the produce flame illuminates, you can feel the warmth radiating in your hand, giving you, the caster, reprieve from the cold. I'm gonna need everyone else to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Fuck off.
Man, that
Well,
hurts.
Two good
it's
starts.
too cold to nap here, Panton.
I'm sorry, say again?
It's too cold to nap here.
Oh, and you don't need to make one. Yes. Anderson, you suffer a point of exhaustion.
Oh, this is not good.
All right.
The adrenaline
Um,
finally wearing off and the extreme cold hitting, just chilling you to the bone. You feel that it would be incredibly difficult to try to sleep in this particular area.
So do we go out or do we go up?
Yeah, is that a staircase behind us?
There is a staircase behind you.
Look,
And what should we do with the
wait.
skull? Should we try to bury it, maybe? Come back for it?
Do you think
I
it'll
mean-
be easy for us to come back for it?
I don't think it'd be easy for us to carry it around either.
I'm kind of
Panton-
tapped out. I don't think I can carry it anymore.
Panton's gonna take these, or we're gonna go to this area on the southeast, and he's gonna begin pushing those 3 crates together to kind of form a wall of sorts. We can try to hide the skull behind it, and then if somebody teleports into this room, maybe they won't find it.
I saw what Radovan did with the water. Can you do that with earth too?
I'd need to rest to connect with that energy.
No.
But I think Panton is right. We should perhaps find a place to regroup before anyone follows us.
Okay, I want to peek through this crack.
Okay. You yourself looking through the crack with just the lights kind of shining in, resonating from the area above, don't have the vision to be able to see into the beyond.
Is that crack wide enough to think that we could fit through it if we had to?
Yes, all of you feel that you would be able to squeeze through. Some of probably Anderson, regardless of how slender you are, and Radovan, you would probably have, like, part of your body would probably rush up against the stone as you're making your way through, but you definitely feel that you would be able to squeeze through
Hey,
without
Radovan,
issue.
could you bring the flame over here?
Second, let me give your...
You know what I should have done? I should have grabbed a bunch of copper coins. You know how indispensable copper coins are when you cast light on them and you just throw them down hallways?
So, I don't know if you guys saw this, but I created a character, which is basically a token called Dancing Lights. You should all have access to it. I feel like somebody has the Dancing Light spell. I can't remember, but you're more than welcome to, like, if you have a... if you have a light source that, like, if you wanted to cast light on it, you could just
Or
drag...
a torch?
Yeah, you could just drag that token out. If you wanted to throw it somewhere, we could use that as your source. Do you want to try to do that instead?
Well, wait. So produce flame. I think it's just like 20 feet of light.
Yeah.
I of course don't need it because I'm an elf.
With whoa, I did not mean to do that.
Can't you throw the flame though?
I can, yeah. Seems pretty
I'm gonna cast the
aggressive.
light on.
Oh, my temperance shooting eldritch blast at the ground.
I just saying that light would
You
follow.
could be.
Give us a chance to look in there.
Yeah, it's a little difficult at this angle with Radovan holding the light source out. You would have to kind of like curl out in front of him, but what you can see from this portion, it's not really displayed on the map very well, but it seems to be another room, a large amber figure, a statue of sorts. You can see its legs and its arms, big muscular figure. In the distance beyond that, you can see scatters of treasure, coin, and the likes.
So, do we want to go this way or do we want to go up?
It may be the more
Pretty cold.
unexpected option.
Perhaps we could cover
terms
our
of-
tracks if we bring those crates over to this crack.
Man, I wish I still had that reducing spell so we could get the skull in here and it would be safe.
Looking around, there is space underneath of the stairwell. The stairwell is not a solid wall. Thinking about being able to push the crates around and try to create like a hiding spot of sorts. You feel that the skull would nest back there relatively easily, and being able to kind of stack and push the crates around it would look, I mean, for any outsider, it would seem normal. Knowing that anybody that might reside here or used to these halls would find it out of place.
He saw what color we went through. I know he did. There might be a reason he can't follow us or hasn't followed us yet.
Do any of these crates seemed opened?
No.
I'm gonna
Might
grab.
not have
And
followed us.
delayed
I'm
him.
gonna grab the one that I'm nearest to.
Okay.
In this case, it's the furthest east one, and I'm gonna try to give it a shake and hear what might rattle inside.
Okay. As you shake it around, it's relatively light. Pushing it seems to be just the weight of the wood. On the inside of it, it sounds something soft. Give me a perception check.
I'm great at these. Eventually, I'll get better. Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, listening to the way the material inside kind of sloshes and moves around as you're shoving it, it seems as if whatever is inside is maybe like packing material, something that if something was of importance placed in there, it would dampen it. So maybe like a cloth or some straw or something soft that would be able to help ease taking it great distances.
What do I have? What do I have? What do I have? I really don't have much. Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna pull the hammer that I have out of my pack. I'm
Okay.
gonna pop open this crate then.
And
Okay.
then what are you doing?
I'm just inspecting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's not your stuff.
Let him find
Well,
out.
as
Who
you-
is it anyway?
Pop off the
Whoever lives
top,
here, we've just invaded somebody's house.
just kind of ignoring Anora's pleas to leave leave things alone. You're just going to pulling the nails out of each of the corners of this lid, and then lifting up, bending the back two nails as you're just prying inside. It is empty, just some straw on the inside.
You know, curiosity is always amazing. And there's nothing in there for me to be rewarded with my curiosity. So, that is rather the
Strobe light over there.
I don't know what's going on.
So, Anderson, you want to pry open the other ones?
Perhaps
What do
instead
you
of
guys do?
seeing what's inside these crates, we should get a bearing of our surroundings, and as you suggested earlier,
Yeah.
find a
Okay,
safer
skull.
place.
Okay. You know what? While he says that, I'm actually going to squeeze past everybody and into the cracks there, and I'm just feeling if it's actually warm or warmer in this area than it is out here.
While he's doing that, I will hide the skull under the stairs and push crates in front of it, since Anderson is very tired.
Why can't I get that thing off of there? There we go. Sorry.
Go on now, get.
Yeah, as you squeeze through, any moment where you're touching this cold stone, it is chilling to your. It almost feels a burning sensation to any exposed skin. It is that cold, negative degrees. You
Guys, just be careful when you touch the walls. I mean, I'm used to dealing with cold stuff, but this is frigid. Put it kindly.
stepping.
So you can make a nest in the crate you opened and warm yourself up.
Oh, I'm good. I am so good.
Stepping through into the other room, you see 6 massive piles of treasure. As you walk by, seeing all of this, you almost caught off guard by this large amber statue. Sculpted muscles of almost a godlike physique, with an eagle's face. As you're looking at the piles of treasure closest to you, you see thousands of electrum pieces to the pile just on your right, the screen's left. You see just dozens of empty bottles. No lids, just empty glass. You see a trunk open, bursting with silk dresses. That's basically all you can see out of that pile, just in the glimpse. Looking off to the other side, you see what looked to be, again, thousands of gold pieces, thousands of copper pieces. You see these copper pieces spilling over these probably 10 or so iron pots, but everything seems to be sorted out. At the
There a
And,
path through there?
I think I found some dresses that might fit you. Could be fun. Maybe Mom would love it.
Stop playing around. We have to get out of here before we get.
Okay.
Keep your voices down.
I'm sorry.
These look organized. Could be.
Is anybody else trying to push through? I don't know if the dynamic lighting's not allowing you to go through.
I'll go ahead and try to keep an eye on him.
Yeah, Temperance will come through.
Okay.
I want to go to the top of the stairs and listen.
I've got a chaperone.
Okay.
I don't need a chaperone.
I assume Anderson will probably just follow Honora, make sure nothing happens.
Temperance and I
Yeah.
do our best work alone.
Right, great. I did babysit these
You're
two
the
for-
babysitter again. Radavan,
I'm
the
out of-
babysitter.
I'm out of-
You could have gone upstairs. Just saying.
The two of you making your way upstairs, as you're looking at the amber wall, as you're ascending up the staircase, you see that it has this. Excuse me, I keep burping. It has this carving. They kind of look like tentacles sculpted into the amber, basically entwining all around the entire room, swirling up in the direction of the library that you see above. Once you get up to the top, you see several more large bookcases. The entire room seems to be an ancient, powerful, magical library of sorts. The bookcases ascending further than your eyes can see. You see 4 candelabras kind of floating. In the room, you see several chairs. And the thing that you notice the most once you get up into this room is the feeling of cold dissipating. The natural warmth returning. It doesn't look any different. The stone floors and the amber walls are still there, but something of great magic seems to be warming this particular area. This looks probably as good as any place if you were going to rest.
And so if we listen really hard, we don't hear anybody?
Make perception checks.
I'm gonna do the same thing
Downstairs.
with because I see these doors.
I believe you make
You
your
get
ability checks
disadvantage
with
or-
disadvantage.
If it's hearing, I get an advantage, so it cancels out.
Okay, that makes sense. Listening for you, Anderson, you hear the scuffling of Radovan and Temperance kind of scrumming through the cracked walls, the crumbling of the remnants of that chasm kind of falling onto the ground, creating a minor echo. But as you really listen, you don't hear anything outside of the soothing flickering of the candle flames above.
I don't hear anybody. I don't think there's anybody
No,
up here.
I don't hear anything either.
Listening at the door, do I hear anything?
You walked all the way to the door.
Uh,
Give me a moment. I'm hopping
Oh,
back and
no.
forth between the lights or the maps.
I'm out of fine traps slots.
Yeah. You walked to the door. You got exploded.
No.
Fine.
Another
traps.
Are there any loose
I use my
coins in this room
wand?
that are not? Maybe you should use your wand. Are there any loose coins that are like
yeah.
scattered outside
Is that wand
of
that
the
would have been
piles?
handy last session?
Yeah, I forgot that I
You were
had
fine.
until we were already out of that room.
It's probably good to
Yeah.
have it here.
Temperance is gonna pop up and pull out her little wand of secrets.
All right. I heard your
Wingardium
question.
Leviosa.
I heard your question, Panton. Give me 1 second.
Fine.
Okay. Panton, to answer your question first, you were asking about copper pieces that are like
Any
further away
loose
from
coin-
any loose coins.
Yeah. Any loose coins, preferably copper, because I can throw them away a hell of a lot easier. But just anything that isn't associated with any large pile.
These are really neatly organized. I mean, neatly as they can be for just the disarray of all these different objects just kind of shoved into a pile. But the piles are separated, and there doesn't appear to be any loose treasure just out in the middle. Just out and away. If you wanted to grab something, you would grab something specifically associated with the pile.
Okay,
I
will
wouldn't
wait.
needlessly touch anything.
Oh, I am waiting for Temperance's little wand magic to alert us of any issues, if any.
Okay. Pulling out the wand, focusing in your mind, calling into the inner magics of the item, thinking about secrets, about traps, about any sort of door that you might be able to find. You feel the magic from your mind pulse in through your hands and through the wand, and you loosening your arm, just kind of allowing the wand to take you where it may, it snaps in the direction, the southwest corner of the room. And it holds the end of the wand pulsing, glowing.
There's
Over
something
here?
over there.
Over in this direction.
Has Temperance revealed the nature of this wand to us?
You just whipped it out.
I
Is
don't
this
believe
some
so.
kind of dowsing ritual?
It's meant to help you find traps or secret doors the same way that you have your spells for it.
Make sure you
So we
remove
don't know
one
if it's a
charge
good
of
or
the
a bad
wand.
thing.
What was that?
So we don't know if it's a good or a bad thing.
No. I'm not sure how we'd find out either.
I assume I didn't hear anything on the other side of the door.
What did you rolled a
14.
14? It's quiet. With a 14, I'll say you just hear something scuffling across the stone. It's not loud like a footprint or a footstep where you would hear the clear echoes of the heel hitting and then the toe slapping down. It's softer than that, but it has that same rhythmic pattern, that pacing of footsteps.
Like a little rat or something? Would that be like a...
Think animalistic, but heavier than that. Like the pads of the feet, creating the soft, muffled tone of the footfalls.
Something intentionally trying to move quietly, perhaps?
I'll hold up like the flame higher and then look to both of them and make my hand signal. Was Ira the one who did hand signals? I don't remember.
Ira was the one that did hand signals.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't mean that you can't.
It's just different hand signals.
I'll go, shh.
Temperance makes the motion of like pulling out a slingshot.
Nora at this point will come down the stairs and be like, guys, it's warm up here.
You tried to open the door? Is that...
No, I didn't open.
You didn't open? Okay. I was reading and I didn't see that motion that you made, and I heard her talking about pulling out a slingshot.
No, just for,
no, I just shrugged and
okay.
just indicated for them to be quiet.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll tell Anderson to stay put, and I'll run down and let everyone know that it was warm upstairs.
I'll be, react pretty anxiously to that.
Usually my curiosity suggests that I go through the door. But I think I want to sleep.
Don't you want to experience, aren't you curious as to how warm it will be upstairs?
That's precisely where I'm going, but if you are trying to encourage me to check out the door, you just have to say it only one more time.
I
don't
am
think I
curious
said it
what's
at all.
behind the door.
Ooh, there's one person!
Beetlejuice it. Say it 3 times, it happens.
Yes!
We could just poke our heads through and then go upstairs.
Good. Could be fun.
I already heard that there was something on the other side of it.
What'd
We
you
are
hear?
in a terrible place. Some kind of animal. I think we should pull back for now. Keep an eye on the crevice.
You're lucky I'm kind of tired from our previous adventure.
Yeah, I do need to
I need a little shadow.
regenerate my... Yeah.
and I think we would love to inspect the fun things that we found.
But we can do it later.
Yeah, we will. We might. We will. Might. You didn't hear
Make
that,
enough
Radavan?
noise and it'll investigate you.
You didn't
That
hear
was bad
anything,
enough stopping
Radavan?
characters. I'll walk back up the stairs after I inform everybody and try to follow Anderson.
I have gold drawing. I didn't see it before.
What?
Yeah, your mic cut out your loud noises. What did you say?
The skull drawing.
Oh.
It's so good.
The skull drawing.
Yeah, under the stairs.
Yeah.
See, there's a pink.
Oh, it
Skull.
says skull. Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah,
I think
nice.
it looks
Good,
beautiful.
good job. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, looks just like a skull and not something else. So
Well, what
A
else would it look
balloon.
like?
It looks like a balloon, Panton.
looks like a skull to me. A head of some sort.
Oh, it's
All right.
fine.
What are you three doing? Are you going to attempt to open the door, or are you going to retreat
No,
back
we are-
to?
We went back.
We went back. Up.
Yeah, we're gonna go
Um,
upstairs, take a nap.
I'm gonna on the way back. I'm gonna inspect these blocks of amber. Make a nature check to see if I can discern any other kind of information that might be taken from them with a closer look.
Which one in
Is that-
particular are you inspecting?
Oh, this one.
Okay.
The 7 from a
Dis-
druid nature check.
Great roll.
Describe to me the way in which you are inspecting this.
I might hold the flame up to it and see if there's like anything inside it.
Okay.
I might touch it to see what kind of material it is.
I need you to take the mite off of there and tell me whether or not you are or not going to touch it.
Oh, I'll inspect it first, and
touch it.
if I see if
Touch
there's anything
it!
inside, I might.
Okay.
If there's something inside, I'm not gonna touch it. If it just seems kind of clear, I might
Oh.
Okay.
poke at it. I'll poke at it if there's nothing inside.
Okay. Stepping up and looking at this large chunk of amber now illuminated by your produced flame, the flame you're holding in your hand, kind of getting it closer and closer, you can see that, and even kind of looking in the other alcoves, noticing that they're not uniform. They're not pillars. They're not shaped in any way that's, again, it's not uniform. It's just rough hewn large chunks of this amber resin. Looking at it, you can even kind of see the reflection of yourself bouncing off of the amber colored stone. You don't give me a perception check. With a 7 nature, you can't really discern. You feel that there's not really any known pockets, or you feel that this concentrated amount of amber is unnatural. I'll say that. You wouldn't find this just out in the wild.
I find it to be unnatural. I don't think I'm gonna touch it.
Okay. With a 25 perception. Looking into it closer. It's hard. It's relatively dark in this room otherwise, and you have just the light in your hands casting all sorts of shadows as the rough edges of this amber reflecting off onto the walls. But you swear you saw something, a small sliver of a shadow inside of this amber move.
I'll like take a few steps back, kind of wide-eyed at what I saw and questioning that I've seen. Kind of look over at Panton and Temperance, make sure they're going up the stairs, and then follow up.
I'm actually waiting for you since, you decided to chaperone me. I'm going to chaperone you.
Yeah, Uncle.
Let's
Uncle
go.
Radavan.
What's the marching order up the stairs?
I believe that
assume-
Anderson was waiting at the top, and then I
Okay.
ran
Pull up
down
the
and
top.
ran back up, so I'd be second.
Yep.
Okay.
Waiting for Radavan to walk
And
away.
Panton and Temperance next to each other, and Radavan at the end.
You guys are like, after you, after you.
Come on, Radavan. Let's go.
Panton, you would hear Radovan mutter, "Unnatural," as he backs away from the amber and follows you up the stairs.
What was so unnatural about it? It's amber. I mean, yeah, it's an awful lot of amber, so it must have come out of a big tree or something like that, but yeah.
Thus, it is unnatural. Do you see any big trees around or traces of them?
Could have been moved here.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Maybe Barovia had a hankering for maple syrup at one point and couldn't find
Guys,
anything.
be
so.
quiet. We don't know who's up here.
Anderson, with your 20 perception, you hear stone shifting, coming from the western end of this room.
Anderson just like holds out his arm, like for whoever's coming up.
The rest of you then hear as footsteps draw closer. You then hear a voice. Jeez Louise, I am burpy as all get out today. Let me try a water instead of a Red Bull.
Where's
Feel ya,
Reginald?
buddy.
I'm out
Yeah.
of G Fuel. I need to order some more. That's my G Fuel container.
See, that's what's going on. You don't have Reginald out. That's why this is happening.
You hear a raspy voice. Nepheron, is that you?
Anderson just looks back to the rest of the group.
Just introduce us. Just say something.
I think you have the wrong person, partner.
Doing
Hey there,
anything wrong.
partner. Hey.
Where we eat the.
He's been
business
saying
on
partner
Discord
since
board.
session 2. It's
No, I know,
weird.
I know, but it's like just moseying into this local saloon here.
There's
I'll say, excuse me, I think we're lost.
you hear
Even better.
and even see on the western side as all of your eyes are trained over in that area, the stone shift, and you see a undead figure step through. Deep red robes drape down its entirety, gold accents along the collars and wrist cuffs. Stepping through the door, some of
Okay,
you.
I just want to set up this visual. Anora's playing up the lost child. She is literally grasping Anderson's coat and picking out her on the side.
He does not appear threatening despite his disgusting face. His death, just his entire existence just reeks of decay. As he steps through and just with a wave of his hand, the door shuts behind him and he moseys on over. What brings you to my abode? Is it power that you seek, or is it knowledge?
Can
Sir,
it not be both? Temperance kind of pokes her head out from behind.
Actually, it's more that we were escaping a bad situation and we found ourselves here. I don't know if we're seeking anything.
How did you find yourselves here? Did you traipse up the cold of Mount Balanok? It does not appear that you are suited for that type of cold weather. Here, take a seat. Make yourself warm at home.
I will do so.
How very gracious.
Thank you.
Are you hungry,
Look up at 'em.
perhaps? Thirsty, even?
Yes.
it would be
It
appreciated.
is nice to have
guess.
a rest.
I have not had the need for sustenance for quite some time, several centuries. But I do still know some of the spells. He casts conjure food and water. And you see on one of the tables before you just a array of meats, cheeses, breads, waters.
I will
Aquafina.
help myself.
Kidding.
Only if it's sparkling.
And you see him at this point start to levitate and cross one of the banisters to the back of the wall, the staircase that you had been walking up. You see a ladder on the far side as he clings to it, and as he's looking down at you, what sort of knowledge do you seek? And immediately the ladder starts to go up like an escalator, carrying him. He is not having to traverse this ladder going up. It's carrying him up.
I think Radovan would go and try to stop Honora from eating any of the food, saying it could be poisoned. We don't know
Yeah,
who
but
this is.
It's been so long since we've had fresh meat. It's just been rations for days. Still recovering from that Grigori incident. For 3
Are you
months we
trying
were
to
in
poison us,
tubes.
or are you giving us real good food?
That's a good starting place for some knowledge.
The ladder, as it is continuing up, just kind of stops. He looks back down. I have not had visitors in quite some time. You can trust that I am not trying to kill my only company, as long as I can remember.
Can I take it? I mean, just to put everyone's mind at ease, can Anderson take some of the bread, try to like sniff it, make sure it's like fresh and free of poison, if that's a thing?
You can certainly try.
Do I believe him?
Yeah, I will certainly try.
Panton, you can roll an insight check.
Oh, I
He
did.
did.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh,
um,
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm real hungry.
you believe him. Anderson with a 6 insight, you're a little
Oh,
less...
I didn't roll insight. That was an old.
That was
Oh, that
mine.
is Honora. Okay, yeah, the A's
I'm
got
eating
me.
the meat.
Yeah,
What do you want me to?
you can give me,
Constitution check.
yeah, I mean, if you're just gonna try to sniff it, you can try to, give me,
Investigation.
yeah, could be an investigation.
Perception?
I would even, I think, with the,
Performance.
Acrobatics.
no,
Arcana.
I think,
Medicine.
like, yeah, a medicine, a survival,
Survival.
something, any along those lines. I think anything but a perception. Like, it's gonna be really difficult to just.
Survival.
I would say
one of the least
survival totally
commonly
fits
rolled
here.
Yeah,
rolls.
I'll go ahead and do survival. That sounds right to me. Ooh, disadvantage sucks, dude.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
It's hard to tell. It feels real. It doesn't feel warm. Not like a fresh baked bread. But it doesn't feel cold, as if it's been sitting in the elements for too long. Doesn't.
I'm just gonna take a bite.
Okay.
Same.
You bite into this bread or whatever you chose to take off of this conjured plate, it doesn't taste amazing, but it's food.
I think it's fine. I really
That
do.
seems to be safe to me.
Thank you for your kindness, sir.
Indeed. What are your names so I know what to call you?
I'm Honora.
Anderson.
You can call me Pee-wee.
Pee-wee, okay. Very fitting.
At your service.
And the two of you,
Temperance.
Radovan will quickly look over to Pee-wee and say, Pavel.
and Pavel, okay. I'm sorry I do not have any more hospitable things that I can do for you. I can only offer you the reprieve from the cold temple below, and what little food I can conjure, which is actually quite a lot each day. But what brings you? What brings
Why
you
are
here?
you here?
And what is your name?
He grabs a tome out of the wall where he was at, and the ladder just goes back down, and he levitates himself over to a nearby chair and takes a seat. See him lounging back as he's getting comfortable.
I'm gonna stand right next to him too. I'm
Okay.
not gonna sit down, but I'm
Like
just
a
gonna
creepy
be that.
little kid that's like, hi, why?
Pretty
Why? Why?
channeling my inner chaos child.
You're a toddler.
I was here the day that this temple was created. I've been here ever since.
Who created it?
I did, myself along with my companions, several very powerful mages, clerics.
And again, what was your name?
I'm just sitting on the armrest like this.
But he smells really bad.
I'm sorry, I don't recall. It's been thousands of years, and I have not really had anyone come by here to introduce myself. You'll have to pardon my memory on the names are not quite important for me, I suppose.
You say you work with clerics, but I can hardly believe that clerics would approve of your current form.
Aha.
Who is this Neveron you speak of?
Oh, my companion, he was also one of the few that helped build this temple thousands of years ago. He is, I would call him my scribe, my clerk of sorts, cataloging all of the knowledge.
Is he also in the same state as you?
Oh, gods no.
So he's
Gods, no.
alive?
Indeed, he is not from this plane. His mortal life, or however you want to describe it, his life. He's found alternative means of longevity. I have not seen him for... Well, it's been a while. I can't remember the last time I've seen Neferon. I was hoping that he had come back.
So, do you serve anybody here, or is this kind of your home to do what you want with it?
Well, basically a prisoner of my own design. In life and now in unlife, I chose to seek out knowledge as much as I could possibly find of all bits, necrotic and different planes of existence, good, bad, evil, everything in between.
Well, I don't think there's a lot of good things happening in this area, so I don't think your knowledge is very extensive on that. But
Quite the contrary. I know all about the dangers that you face here. Even just being in this temple, you've exposed yourselves. No doubt some of you
Exposed
have
ourselves to what?
already heard the whispers of the old vestiges.
Well, I know that some of us have been having dreams.
That is how it starts.
Well, how does it end?
Many different ways. There was once a young prince came through these parts. He was a very formidable foe on the battlefield, out conquering, taking over the lands. He came in here. I'm not sure what drove him in here. I could guess, but originally made friendship. We spoke, studied the arcanes together. I taught him several different things. Eventually, the nature of my work and why I was here came up. I told him of the dark powers that we have entombed here. The vestiges of these old gods that still remain. He was quite infatuated with the idea, really. It was right under my nose. I was so enthralled with the idea of company. He would come weekly. I even went to a wedding that he held at his estate. Such a terrible affair. It was beautiful the day that it was. But when the ceremony came, bloodshed, death, turmoil, tragedy. I do not wish to recall the exact nature of that, but I have not seen him in quite some time. But I do know that the vestige, the dark power that the Pact was struck was sealed that day. The dark power that we kept here. I'm sorry, the power or the person that was my...
Oh, it was Strahd.
These powers, there's several of them and they have names.
Yes, some of them are known and some of them still unknown. The people who found their names long since tarnished and dead from this world. To answer your question, little one, yes, it was Strahd Svanzarovich, now the Dark Lord of this domain of dread, if you will.
How do we break the pact?
That's quite the challenge in my studies. The very, very powerful wizards that I had here, the clerics, some of them had made pact, and early enough in their state they were able to be slain, and their god was not able to bring them back. However, Strahd's been around for several hundreds of years. His pact
Nora's gonna get up and start the pace.
now long beyond the mere breaking. To even just kill Strahd would not break the pact. For his vestige, his dark power, his deity would just resurrect him in due time.
so
We can't kill him, then.
these dark powers, where did they originate from? Who were they?
very fascinating tale. During my research in the Astral Sea, some of the people aboard our ship had started to have these nightmares.
You mean like a boat?
Yes, I suppose you could call it that. Fueled by magic, going across the plains. It's the best means of travel. But we all started to have recollections. These dreams coming to us, some nightmares, some promises of gifts, of powers beyond our imagine. Drawn to these voices in the sea and the abyss. We found a sliver, a shadow. Do you know what happens to a god when it loses all of its followers?
No.
It dies.
I
When a god loses all of its followers and no one's left to believe in the god, it dies, just like mortals when you die. Traveling through the Shadowfell, through the abyss, eventually to your eternal plane of judgment. But these gods, floating in the abyss, their soul, their essence, clinging on to the brink of death. We were able to capture them. We thought to study them. And so we did. Brought them back to the material plane where we built this amber temple to keep them sealed away. Realizing that some of the people did not even make the journey back to the material plane. It took us several months to construct this amber temple. We found, for whatever reason, the properties of this amber was able to seal these dark vestiges, keep their influence at a minimum.
And if these shards were to be released from this temple, or their influences released from the shards themselves, what would happen?
Well, they would go back then to their home plane, their natural plane of existence. For most of these, it is the Shadowfell.
And that would be a bad thing?
Yes, in fact, it would be. You see, when... We'll just use Vampire for example, since you're familiar, at least with Strahd von Zarovich, you know of the power Vampire holds on him. Strahd, when he made his pact and fulfilled his end for the powers, this amber sarcophagus, if you will, was shattered. But that created this domain of dread. It allowed Vampire to return to his full power. Now siphoning every soul that is taken from this realm feeds and fuels Vampire.
So
But the
just to
souls
be
that are
clear,
dying.
Vampire is the spiritual entity, the god, that Strahd is serving?
Yes.
And the souls are dying.
Yes, the souls are a somewhat finite resource in these domains of dread. the people that happened to be around the surrounding area when the pact was made gets forever trapped, unable to leave the mists.
And how do we stop it? How do we save the people who are left? How do we put an end to this never-ending misery? Besides waiting for him to starve out.
I have no proof, as I've never seen it done. But if I, having studied, and he kind of looks around the room, and, your eyes, again, can't help but fall on the massive amount of books that you see, endless amounts of knowledge. As I have read every single one of these tomes, I would gather that the only way to make it end permanently, if that's what you so wish, it would be first, defeat Strahd, kill him, and allow the mists to retract for only a moment, to allow the outsiders to then leave. You would then have to find your way to the Shadowfell to defeat Vampire in his home plane. Only then would the curse be fully lifted.
Find our way.
How strong do you think Vampire is?
How does one
How do
defeat
you
a
even
god?
get to this? How do you even get to the Shadowfell? I've never heard of it.
Have you ever heard of the Feywild?
Have I ever heard
Yes.
of the Feywild?
A little bit.
I mean, that's where fairies and pixies are from.
And
And hags.
he snaps his finger, and a desk just scrapes across the ground and parks itself right up against you, Honora. And on there you see a piece of parchment and a quill. Do for me what, if you would, please, for humor, and you can all learn. Trace what you know of your home world on the material plane. Go ahead and scrawl it out on that piece of parchment for me.
Like a list or a map?
No, draw a map for me, please, if you would. Where's the coast? Where's the towns? The major cities of importance?
I do a really good job.
You do, being coming from a family of wealth and having studied some, books of geography, you're able to do a very good job of tracing a map of the Sword Coast. And Neverwinter, Waterdeep, Baldur's Gate, even Daggerford, some of the woods surrounding the areas. And as he's hunched over you, peering down, very good, very good. Now, if I may, and he produces another piece of paper and lays it over top, and with the candle lights that you see, you can barely make out the lines that you had drawn on the piece of parchment below. And now, from the drawer of the desk, he pulls out a larger bristled brush, and he flips it over to you. Now, trace what you've just previously drawn with this brush. This is going to represent the Shadowfell. And as you go about doing so, it is difficult to make out the coasts, the cities. You can kind of make out as you were, pressing down harder and giving detail around the area. Finally, you see it, even coming from memory and having, rolled a 24 on your history check, the way that it's supposed to look. But with such a large bristled brush, it's hard to draw it in any sort of detail. Finally, he gives you a fine calligraphy quill and another piece of paper and removes the Shadowfell and now casts light on the desk and allows you to trace again, this time adding every sort of embellishment around points that are important to you. Make them look fantastical and whimsical and everything that you desire that the cities and place would be. Going through this entire exercise, and eventually he picks up these and stacking them, the Feywild on top, the material plane in the middle, and the Shadowfell on the bottom, holding them up to each of you as you're watching her draw these. These are all the same place. The material plane. The Shadowfell and the Feywild are just mirrors, projections of the material plane.
But it's notoriously hard to get to the Feywild.
It is.
How easy would it be to get to the Shadowfell?
There are several different ways, and as he produces from his robe a piece of thread and a needle and just starts poking through at random, these are the rare places that you might be able to cross where the veil is thinnest. And then he retracts the needle and pokes a different place. As he pulls the thread all the way through, they change. They move. A lot of people stumble across them on luck, but there are certain ways that you can find through research. To get to the Shadowfell, there is one 100% guarantee way that you can get there. It's the easiest, but I'm afraid it's not the most pleasant. One must die. The other way, or other ways, is the Shadowfell is all that is dark, a dark, twisted version of the material plane. Sometimes the veil is thinnest, where it is darkest, where there's not a shred of light. So on new moons, when the sky is black, you might be able to find entrance in an empty grave, in a graveyard. You might also find it walking down into a basement. When a single sliver of light is shed on one of these gateways, it closes immediately. I've even read tales of a town where there was a rift that had opened to the Shadowfell inside of an outhouse, and it had swallowed up several unwise patrons, drunks that had wandered out to relieve themselves, only to find themselves in a place of death and despair.
So, that's all nice, but how does Barovia fit in all this?
Where are we now?
You are currently in the Shadowfell. But the Shadowfell is an interesting place. You see, the power of these gods, these ancient vestiges, old gods, have sectioned off a place in the Shadowfell. And these are called the Domains of Dread, where their chosen champion, the Dark Lords, Strahd, is of this domain. There are several Domains of Dread, but this one, they are all sequestered off into a remote location within the Shadowfell. It is not easy to traverse from one domain to the next, but that is where you are currently.
There are
So
more
it's
places
Not
like this
easy, but
where souls are being consumed.
Yes, every time a pact is made with an old vestige, it seals off another remote place from the material plane and locks it into the Shadowfell in its own prison, if you will, of the champion, to then siphon off the souls of those that remain trapped here.
But the
So-
temple is here, and Strahd came here and made a pact under your watch.
I did not know that he was making the pact. This temple used to be on the material plane, as did Barovia.
So if we want
Would
this,
I have any... Go ahead.
so if we want to undo all this, maybe get Barovia back to the material plane, do we have to defeat this vampire which you were talking about?
I do not know for certain if that would be possible. That is just my theory.
And is vampire in Barovia, or do we have to go elsewhere to fight him?
Vampire is in the Shadowfell, outside. As I was saying, when I poked the thread through, it still has a tether to Barovia, but it is still on its home plane. Now, ruling over through proxy, living through the Dark Lord Strahd von Zarovich.
Do you have any idea how to defeat something like a evil deity named Vampire?
Could we reseal it, perhaps?
You would have to still make your way into the Shadowfell to conduct such a ritual, having to need the spirit there in a weakened form now that it's had to feed on souls for hundreds of years. It has grown in power. You would have to weaken it first and then conduct a ritual to reseal it in the amber.
So
Could we weaken it by killing Strahd? Or are there other ways?
No, unfortunately, if you killed Strahd, it would just seek out a new champion. There are plenty of weak-willed mortals around that it would be able to detect, and now that it's in the Shadowfell, has easier access to the material plane where the veils are thinnest. It could...
But you said that it likes to resurrect Strahd.
It does so far, because he's still...
How would we permanently kill Strahd then?
By theoretically killing Vampire.
But to weaken Vampire, we could defeat Strahd and release souls from this realm in that way, correct?
Once Strahd was reborn, the mists would return. I suppose you could say in that time where Vampire is using his powers to resurrect his champion, he would be in his weakest state, yes. But still.
Do we know any weaknesses for any sort of this Vampire? Do you know of any weaknesses?
We did study many of the vestiges that came through in this temple. Vampire has a few that I know of. Probably the most devastating one is its sunlight hypersensitivity. That is why you would find its home plane being in the Shadowfell, where basically all sunlight is consumed. The other is running water, which again would be very difficult to find within the Shadowfell.
I mean, how do we even get to this guy? Do we have to kill Strahd
I
and,
know.
and a portal opens up, or
No, I think kill
Find the
Strahd and then we
darkest
have to,
outhouse, apparently.
or the biggest graveyard.
There are other ways. Humans, gate keys that they're called. Basically, certain people have found ways. They can speak arcane words and travel between planes. These gate keys exist for many different planes of existence. The
Do you know
elemental
which
planes, the sigil, the city of doors is another place that has a lot of opportunities to obtain these said gate keys. There are people of great arcane power outside in the material plane. I can only assume that mages have gained even more power in my absence. There should be ways. There are permanent openings. Why, the great city of Neverwinter has an exact mirror image in the Shadowfell. That would probably be one location that would have a permanent gateway. The Shadowfell version called Evernight. Not a hospitable place for people of the living, I can assure you. But that is one place that I am 100% certain there would be a gateway.
right? But what about here and now in Barovia?
You would have to defeat the Dark Lord, as every other plane would have to do, to eliminate the mists that surround this place.
I mean, these people have suffered enough. If we can do anything to release them from this eternal torment, that's what I would like to do.
Some of them are past saving, aren't they? They've become husks of their former selves.
Ah, you are
It's been eating their
very,
souls.
very wise. I imagine you would do quite well reading some of these tomes. I can feel the intelligence on you. Yes, the people whose souls have been consumed by Strahd and eventually make their way to fuel Vampire. Their souls are no longer here. But Vampire still manifests these bodies to give this sense of keeping the city alive, the towns to still have life.
What would happen to them if we were to do this to defeat him and Strahd?
To defeat Strahd, nothing would happen. Vampire would still exist. Their husks, as you so eloquently put it, would still remain here. Because as I have learned, they are basically controlled by Vampire. Illusions that he places here to give the sense of population.
So they would no longer exist if Vampire
If Vampire was dead.
entombed.
Yes. Or if he was slain, or if he was recaptured, they would cease to exist. But I can assure you that they would not feel a thing, as they never felt a thing anyways.
They're essentially
They're
puppets.
already dead.
Yes, indeed, they are puppets.
At one point they were inhabited, though.
Yes, their souls then consumed by Vampire.
Under your watch.
Yes, that is very true. But I have no control. You see, I alone cannot recapture Vampire. We had dozens of powerful wizards, clerics.
How many deities do you have entombed here?
Uno momento, por favor.
Sorry, knowledge begets more questions.
You're doing great, John, by the way. This is
9,
fantastic.
This is killing it.
15,
Yeah.
18.
I like this lich. He's cool.
There are now 17. There was 18, but with the breaking of the amber sarcophagus that did hold Vampire, now only hold 17 dark
Still a lot of-
vestiges.
That's a lot of power you're holding back.
But the vestiges that are here, they still extend their influence into at least this realm, correct?
I have myself noticed that has been the case.
And do they tolerate each other being so close, being confined? Like, what do they do in these amber prisons?
These gods have existed since long before you and I could even fathom the existence. They are used to waiting. I have no idea how long they were floating in the astral sea waiting for unaware passerby to take claim. So I imagine they wait for people to influence, control. Typically, those of deep trauma or weak souls. Easily influenced, looking for answers, power.
I want to walk over to Panton, put my hand on his arm, and be like, exert their influence. Rutabaga?
I don't know what you're talking about. No issue yet.
Is rutabaga is
It's a vegetable.
that's what I thought. Are you speaking of a dark power?
Not at all.
Happens to share the same name.
Excuse me,
Rutabaga was
Mr. Lich, sir.
Panton's
Is there
favorite food that Mom would used to make.
is there a dark deity here by the name of Rutabaga?
Panton, stop being pandemic.
I'm just making sure.
There is
He
not.
has a good point. Who are some of these deities?
Some of them, the names died with the people who researched them. If I was... One moment, let me scroll to that portion of my...
Are you inciting Panton or Honora? That's the question.
Panton. Well, probably both. I mean, like, I would have seen you. Like, you're the one who said rutabaga.
There is...
You could tell that Honora has quite a bit of concern right now. A little bit of panic.
There is Norganus, the Finger of Oblivion. There's also
That's a name.
Vond the Evasive. And he closes his eyes and lifts his hand, and out from the shelf snaps a book, and as he pulls it closer to him, he speaks a language unknown to you, just Hashathaka, and the pages open. And he starts scrolling through, flipping the pages. There's also Siraich, the Hellhound Whisperer. There's Yerga, the Eye of Shadows. There's Zagan, the Duke of Disappointment. There's Takamedes, the Grave Worm. Shall I go on?
I'm looking at Panton for any recognition, like any sort of response when he lists these names.
I don't think
Is
there's any
there
need.
one
It would
in
have been
there?
better if they had been forgotten.
Say that one more time, I'm sorry.
Know that.
Temperance.
No, I was talking to Radovan, actually.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any need to go on. It would have been better if they had remained forgotten.
Actually, I'm curious. Is there one that is known for hooded figure and does Timbers actually have the Taroka card, or who has all the Taroka cards on them?
I think
So
we
I
each
was
had to
gonna
our
whip
own.
out the one with the
I
hooded
think you each took your own. I think you still held on to them. I know Panton's already taken a potty break. Does anybody else need to go to the bathroom? It's 8 o'clock. We're right at that halfway point.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
we can take a quick vibe.
Let's go ahead and
Let's do
take
stroke
a
first.
quick fiver
Oh, yeah.
and
Princess.
be right back.
Okay.
Cool.
Grab some food.
You're
Alright.
good.
I spilled my wine.
Oh,
Oh, that's a major oof.
shame on you.
You gotta
That's
suck
what
it
we
out.
lose.
All right. We return. Was there a question that was asked? I spaced it.
Yes.
Uh,
Temperance
Oh, yeah.
was
Yes.
Just
trying to
asking
whip
you.
out the Taroka card with the hooded one and trying to say, like, is there one that looked like this?
Let me. The dark vestiges, formless, as far as I can see. The only way that you would be able to know their form, and even then would be difficult, would be to make contact with it. But even then, it's a shadowy form of its former self. Looking at your card, let's... So to say that one of the dark vestiges looked like that, I cannot say. We do have a statue out in the main foyer, I guess you could call it, that does look somewhat similar, I guess, at least in name. Also the hooded one.
Is he the one with the eagle head?
Oh gods, no, that is one of our amber golems.
Oh. Oh, what do they do?
They are protective
Smash
measures.
intruders.
Yes, exactly. They are defense.
Oh, we saw one in the basement while we were trying to find a place to rest. And
Ah, yes. I would not touch any of the treasure, as you would find that it's mostly quite worthless. The statue that we have out there out front, called the God of Secrets. It
Up
is
front. Where? Sorry?
out front. It's in the main entrance area.
Okay.
Your friend showed me a card of one called the Hooded One, and we have a hooded statue of the faceless God of Secrets. As is, we built it originally as a shrine meant to help keep this Amber Temple secret from those that might wish to seek out these dark powers for evil. Obviously, it did not do us much good.
What happened to your companions? You spoke you came here on a ship, some were left behind, and the others never on. You don't know what happened to them.
Sure, you've seen that some of the... I don't know how far you've ventured in here, but you can tell that there is rubble, destruction. We've had to fend off many assaults. Probably the most notable one. Where is it? Most notable one was an Arcanoloth from Sigil, the City of Doors in the Outer Plains. Her name was Shemeska, but they were called She was called the King of the Cross Trade. She came seeking the expansive wealth of knowledge that we have here stored in this library, as well as power over the dark powers stored within. Many people died during that fight, myself included. But luckily, I had already, made my transition into undeath.
And
So
now
are
this
you
place is sealed away.
Are you just here to maintain knowledge, or are you protecting the world against these dark powers, or a combination of both?
Both. I strive to not allow any more amber sarcophagi, rather, to be destroyed, to loose any more dark powers out into the world, to not allow their influence to reach.
But you mentioned hearing whispers.
Indeed, that has always been a product of proximity to these dark vestiges.
You said there are domains of dread, multiple. Does that mean other sarcophagi have been broken
Ah,
and other pacts been made?
not all who create a domain of dread spawn from this here Amber Temple. It is just a product of an old god, lost finding its new champion. I don't know how many other gods have come and gone, allow floating in the abyss.
Well, you've been very kind in answering all of our questions and providing us with refreshment. Thank you.
I'm afraid my hospitality ends with this room. I cannot leave it, so there are dangers here within this temple.
Can the dangers enter this room?
It would be difficult for them to. They are typically preventative measures to make sure the defense, but I no longer have control of those type of things. While they will not harm me, they will harm intruders. I shouldn't say that I can't leave this room, but I choose not to.
Do you mind if we kind of hang out in this room and just warm up and try to recoup a little bit from our journey to this place?
That is very fine. You can stay as long as you'd like.
I have a couple more questions.
Yes.
Anderson, can I see the book that you found?
Oh, the Tome of Strahd? Yeah, he'll hand it over.
Would you be able to decipher this for us?
Yes. And he looks at it and flips it open, and you see kind of a sad, frown kind of creep across his face. Tragic tale, really. Absolutely. While I am very powerful, this will take me some time to remove some of the wards that do exist on this. It would be best if I was left to my study to be able to, if you mind if I take it into the other room where I do my work, I would be able to. You all look extremely tired. You would be more than happy to just sleep here if you would like.
And then
Very well.
I'd like to get better at magic. Do you have any magic books I could possibly study?
He casts a spell. And he analyzes you, looks up and down, and a spectral mage hand appears feet away from you and attempts to locate the book that Rose gave you.
It's in my back.
The spectral hand goes into your bag and pulls it out. Ah, I see. You already have everything you need right here. And the spectral hand holding it out in front of you.
I'll grab it. Thank you.
Read with intention. If it is knowledge you seek, that book will show it.
This book was gifted to me by one of the souls that are trapped here. Part of the reason why I'm so adamant to free them.
I have no doubt that it was the soul that sought you out. You must have been judged worthy to be bestowed, to have this book bestowed upon you.
I'll hug the book to my chest. It's very kind.
I'm going to take this book now, and in the morning I will have...
Are you guys okay with him deciphering it? And the rest of us struggled, so...
I can assure you that I am no threat to you, nor do I have... I already know the history of Strahd von Zarovich. While I do not know his inner thoughts that are probably stored here, I know his tale very well.
Oh, I'm fine. Take the book. Go ahead. Anything we can learn from it would be grateful.
All right. If you need
Thank you
me,
again.
I will be beyond these walls. And he walks over to the bookshelf, and you see a out-of-place brown tattered book in a sea of blues, greens, dark black leather bound books. You see a shorter tattered brown one on the edge of the bookshelf, and he just tilts it back. You can use this to get through these doors into my chamber. And as he pulls it back, the stone wall moves. I will see you come morn. Good night.
Good night, indeed.
Radovan? You had an affinity for that candle. Did you want to carry it?
Sure.
Seemed to resonate with you a little stronger than me.
All right.
I think you've earned it. I mean, you've been such a great help since we came across you. Thank you for everything you've done.
If you... Oh, you wish to gift it to me? You can
Yes.
simply lend it when you want it back.
It's not really mine to give. It was belonged to a cleric that arrived with us, but he's no longer with us.
Then I
And so I
accept it
was-
graciously.
Thank you. So it's the candle of evocation, and you can Have that.
Cool. Let's dig into the bag of stuff and start looking at everything.
Yeah, now would be a good time to do that. So we
Yeah,
have
what's in the bag?
There's the jug.
There's the jug of alchemy, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
There
Who wants
was
some
the
beer?
beer.
Or
Why not
mayonnaise.
wine? Come
We're
on
in
now.
Barovia. It's got to
We
be
drink
wine.
Wine.
I could
We
do
drink
wine.
at Purple.
I just get 4
Um,
gallons of beer versus 1 gallon of wine.
I mean, 1 gallon
It's
of wine
it's
is a
on the
lot.
labor.
1 gallon of wine between 5 of us is going to get us nice
Shitload of
and
wine.
Yeah,
Alright.
All
That'll
right.
do
So
it.
according to the label, if I say this magic word, we get a gallon of wine. Is that what you guys want? Honestly, I vote for the 2 gallons of mayonnaise, but
Yeah, but we can't get ripped on mayonnaise, all right? Like we can get
Go better
terribly
with the
upset
bread.
stomachs, and that's about it. So the rod I'm going to bequeath upon Temperance.
Okay.
Yeah. This doesn't look like anything that I can use, so I'll just throw it off. I don't care.
I'm still wearing this godforsaken atrocious helm at this point.
And I'll spend an hour studying the symbol of Ravenkind.
Okay.
There's the helm, there was the rod. Was there one other thing?
My shield.
Yep.
Shield.
She already
My
has that.
cool dragon shield that I don't have to tune to, so.
Who's going to take the helm of intellect? Or what was it called? The
Brandon's
crown
not
of
giving it up.
intellect?
No, I thought it was the helm of radiance. Or was I mistaken on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a. Oh, were there two things?
Or helm
or-
of brilliance. Sorry.
Helm of brilliance,
Helm of
yes.
Brilliance,
Yeah, okay, there we go.
Did you put the Rod of the Pact Keeper +2 into your inventory, Temperance?
Not yet.
Okay, I'm gonna delete it from mine though.
I mean,
Cool.
Anderson. I don't know if the helm would serve you well.
It kind of clashes with his whole.
Give me a second. I've got to look into that.
I mean, I'm already attuned to some pretty good items.
Oh, you already have attunement to shit? Okay.
Oh yeah, dude, the hill giant, the belt of hill giant strength, the mantle of
Right.
spell of resistance, and the ring of the ram.
Oh wow, yeah. All 3 of those require attunement?
Yep.
Oh, you are attuned out.
Yeah, dude, Anderson's fucking decked out.
I mean, I could fit on the helmet if you were full Panton.
I have no attuned items.
I could have swore
the
that I
helmet do
typed
again?
that stuff out.
I have the. I'm sure you did.
And I'm looking for it.
I mean, I have the Helm of Brilliance in my inventory right now.
I think there was a handout for.
Joseph?
Yeah. Yeah.
The Candle of Invocation, I've been keeping track of how long it's burned.
Yeah, I
So
was
far
about
we've
to
used
ask.
11 minutes of it.
Oh, great.
But you can't use the gate spell now because I've used 11 minutes of
Okay.
that.
It is Helm of Brilliance.
Okay, cool.
Oh, okay.
And then
I'm
is
gonna delete it from my
Yeah, there's a-
inventory.
is the rod the +1, +2, or +3?
It's +2.
+2.
Look at
Hey.
you. Look at you with the +2. I guess I'm gonna sit here and study the Helm of Brilliance then.
Okay. Let's go ahead and it has 4 diamonds.
Okay, hold on, wait, let's see. There's no way I can keep track of this.
Oh,
on
dude,
the game.
that is so good.
The Helm of Brilliance? I know, it's uber.
The fact that it has diamonds in it, like that's automatically gonna like really help us.
Indeed.
Panton gets to be a sparkly boy.
You let me
Oh,
know
yeah,
when
he
you're
loves
ready.
He's
Bullshit.
fabulous.
I'm just writing it down right now until I can figure something else out. Go ahead.
Okay. Ooh, that's a bad one. 5 rubies.
Out of 3d10? Jesus Christ.
No, out of 2d10. 3d10, you have 17 fire opals.
A shitload of opals.
And 21 normal opals.
That's
I just got to figure out what each of these do.
Daylight, fireball, prismatic spray, and wall of fire.
And a
Okay.
30-foot light
Oh,
that
wow.
does radiant damage on undead.
Wait, 21 daylight opals?
Yeah.
Spray.
damn. I'm not
And it
the
just
only
fucking glows.
fireballer now.
When at least one undead's in the area, so your helmet just fucking started to glow after you get tuned
Everything.
to it. It's like ah.
How long or how far away does the...
It is a 30-foot
undead part?
radius. And you can turn your weapon into it. You don't even have a weapon.
I have daggers!
Should have kept that rod for yourself.
Fencing with flaming daggers,
Oh.
man. Jesus.
No. The rod makes no
I
sense.
just
to me.
imagine like a little ah.
As I run into melee.
Little
So,
crazy gremlin.
Is there no more
Oh, yeah.
red cap, or is the red cap over the
No, it's
helmet, or
underneath
is
the
it-
helmet.
Okay.
It's like it
I'm
pokes
still
out the
wearing the red
back.
cap.
Alrighty.
I think that we're exhausted and it's time for a long rest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Do you attempt to set up watches?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Why not?
Alrighty.
Temperance, you can be first.
Okay.
I'll hang out with Temperance.
Sure.
No. You guys
Yes.
need to be separated. Like
No,
the two kids that
Jesus.
talk to each
You're
other
not
in
my
class all
mom. You
day.
can't tell me what to do.
I'm what's keeping you alive.
I'm keeping you alive.
It's a mutual Benjamin.
Fan-dangled new helm that can help the non-dark vision person. Yeah, there we go. How about that? Eat it.
In other words, you're gonna be a beacon. You're gonna be just a shining beacon for the enemies to hit.
Yep. I'm gonna hit them back.
Alrighty, who's got first watch?
Temperance does.
I'm with Temperance.
Alrighty.
Chaos kids.
No.
See, I'm not the only one who thinks that it's a bad idea for the two of you to be alone while the rest of us are trying to sleep.
Oh, it's a really bad idea.
That's a great idea. What can go right?
I want to sit on you, Panton.
Both of you seem like you need a lot of rest. I only require 4 hours of meditation.
You take the first watch and we'll take the second watch.
I'll take
Yes.
the first watch.
Okay.
Then Honora can
I'll take
the
the second watch.
Then Honora will take the third, and the two of you can rest the full time.
Look at that. Spoiled rotten.
I hate you guys. I really do.
Don't
gotta
blame
spend
us
an
that we're
hour.
trying to help.
Alrighty.
I'm sure you think of it
You've
that way.
helped so
Insight
much.
check on that one.
You know, we found the skull.
No, we found the skull when we just happened to go in that one room.
We found.
But we knew where we were because we'd already explored there.
I don't recall you leading the way.
Well,
We
once
found
we
the
were in
skull.
there.
We came down, we went back up, we found the skull, we let you know. You conveniently chose to ignore us. That's fine. I'm used to that. Temperance
That is not
probably
how that
not,
went.
but that's fine. Whatever.
We burst in the room. You didn't know what was behind the door. We all burst in the room, and I just happened to find the big skull in the room.
We came
Guys,
down there
This is
initially and
semantics.
found
We
the
don't
skull
need to be
in there.
tearing ourselves apart with this sort of fighting. Panton,
Yeah.
do you
what?
not see what you're doing to the group?
No. I'm saying that I was right, and nobody wants to give me my due, except Temperance. And that's why I want to hang out with her more.
I
Because guess
I
what?
get it that you guys are
She
friends.
recognizes my worth.
Well, we all recognize your worth. You're a very powerful mage with some control issues.
I'm not a mage. I don't study. It comes naturally.
A mage is a person with magical abilities.
They sit in
That's a
dungeons
wizard.
with books and candles, and
That's
they
a
just
wizard.
read and read and read and read. And
See, if
I
you
don't.
had read, you would know that that's a wizard, not a mage.
Yeah. Guess what?
Mage is a generic
I don't
term for
study.
somebody with magic.
It just comes to me.
Talking about semantics over here.
Yeah,
I know.
we
You're
are.
right. He's literally like a siphon for this, isn't
Regardless,
he?
there aren't that many people that wear their ignorance so proudly like a badge.
Well, it's fine because guess what? It is a great shiny badge. And
One
it
of these
works
days,
for me.
you're gonna grow up.
Nope, I don't think so.
Well, if you're dead.
Hey, can you just study that emblem a little bit more? All right, while I study my ignorance emblem. Thanks. I'm gonna wander away from her.
The wine was a bad idea, guys.
I haven't even drank any of it yet. Wait until I get going.
Radavin's
If you actually
gonna
made the
partake in
wine,
some of it,
Anderson's
too.
going to take Panton's share and drink that.
Yeah. I turned the jug on and made the wine.
If you drink my share of wine, I
I will also
say,
take a big chug of wine.
I can't
after that
say that
conversation.
I'm not going to stay in one spot.
You weren't
Oh,
going to
what
do
else
that
is
anyway.
new? Oh, predictable.
Can't predict.
Temperance just gets quiet and goes in a corner to write and then go to sleep. She's over this arguing.
Alrighty. Where position yourselves on the map where you intend to sleep?
I guess there's only just the chairs, so I guess where I'm at's fine.
I think this landing right in front of the stairs is pretty comfortable.
Well, I mean, you're on first watch, so.
Yeah.
First half watch, honestly. You get 4 hours of it, where the rest
Hey,
of us
comfortable
sleep
spot right
too.
over here.
I want to talk to the guy, so I'm going to encourage you. Hey, move.
He's busy.
Anderson
He's doing
stands.
something.
Anderson, I'm gonna pull on the book. I want
can't
to
reach the
talk to
book.
him. I can climb.
Anderson, just go to
I have
bed.
2 arms and 2 legs, and I want to talk to the guy. And I need you.
And you can
Get
talk
out
to
of my
him in
way.
the morning like the rest of us.
No, I want to talk to him in private. Thank you very much. And I swear to God, if you do not let me do that, I will turn you into a snail instead of a giant rage monkey next time.
What's the harm,
you think
Anderson?
he's
She just
moving.
like
No,
looks
he's not
up from her
moving.
book and is like, just
I'm gonna throw a
stop.
piece of bread at Panton. If you shut up, I'm trying to sleep.
Go to sleep. Ignore our conversation.
You're too loud.
I'm gonna climb the bookshelf.
Pushing the head down.
Do not make me gust you.
Oh, you
Panton,
got
in a
me.
fight, you would not win.
I'm not gonna
As
fight you.
this conversation is going on, Anderson, you hear the door behind you as the familiar face of the nameless Lich is in the doorway. I thought it would have to go on. It was without saying that I hope you treat this library, this ancient place of knowledge, with respect. I do not need any fights
I'm just glaring at Panton.
breaking out. And I should tell you that the best opportunity for learning and studying and working is in quiet. Now, I am not commanding you to silence, but I would appreciate some semblance of normalcy around here. You're making me regret allowing visitors. I'm starting to realize why I've been recluse for so long.
Oh, don't you worry, sir. We'll be just fine here. Won't we, Panton?
I'm gonna dart between his legs.
between the lich is standing in the middle of the door.
Oh, I want to get between myself and the lich. Or, sorry, between Anderson and the lich. Sorry.
Okay.
Isn't Anderson standing also in front of the door?
Yes.
It's just a very crowded three individuals.
He's a halfling. I think he can just do that.
Yeah.
I'm a 2-foot halfling at that, so.
Yeah.
Look, sir, I just have a couple of questions that I would like to ask, but my roommate over here is proving to be more troublesome and is willing to instigate a fight between us. So
You're not
let's have this
listening.
discussion.
I do not have the slightest inkling of care for your mortal troubles, of your bickering and squabbling amongst each other. If you have a question, you may ask it. What do you wish to know?
Well, I was hoping that I could ask this in a little more of a private setting. But my friend over here is making that incredibly difficult, and hence his decision to want to fight me.
Well,
Didn't say I was
barging
gonna
into
fight
somebody's
you.
private chambers is actually quite rude, Panton.
You hear inside of your head, speak freely. In your mind.
You can hear the eye roll behind her head.
You
Panton,
don't, nobody
barging
hears it. You're just
Oh
seeing.
no, I know. But
Okay.
Honora's getting kind of like tired of Panton's attitude, so like he can feel her annoyance behind him. She's gonna puff
Hold
up
on,
the seat.
wait. Because my question was in relation to a question that I asked you via the chat, the Curse of Strahd chat. Where'd it go? It was about the Duke of Disappointment, and what is his particular involvement in this realm?
He has no sway or hold in this realm. Any living souls that come in here are spoken for by Vampire, but it does not stop the others from trying. If they gain a champion of their own, they can create their own domain of dread.
Okay. That's all I needed to know.
Okay. You hear inside your head, is that all?
That is everything that I needed to know.
And as he looks over the group, you see and hear a little more stern tone over this undead face. Good night. Rest well, you are safe up here. As the door shuts between you.
You're gonna get us kicked out with your shenanigans. Stop it.
You know what? He said we could enter the room freely if we had any questions, and for whatever reason, you guys feel like you need to stop me. So,
You know what, Panton? I hope you got bullied at school. I'm going to bed.
go to bed. Please, do us a favor. Go to sleep.
Alrighty. Radovan, give me a perception check for your night's watch. Is everybody where they would be sleeping?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you do anything outside of just standing on the landing?
Might ask Panton to move closer into the room. Why are you posting
Just
up
a
here?
big ol'.
Well, that is Panton's personality in a nutshell, so.
I'm worried for your constitution.
My
This area's
constitution
closer
is-
to the cold.
My constitution is fine. I don't need you worrying about it.
Well, now you're calling into question your judgment. Which I believe the utmost discretion is needed in such a place as this.
I'm being very discreet about my judgment right now.
What are you looking for?
Not looking for anything. I'm just looking for a nap.
And then he's gonna tuck himself into a ball and just snore very fakely loudly.
The rest of you are going to sleep, correct? Anybody that's actively going to sleep, you can go ahead and start the process of your long rest and leveling up your characters. With 17 perception, I know you said you were keeping an eye on Panton. Is there anything else that you're looking for, listening for? Do you venture back down into the other rooms, or are you just staying on this landing?
I go down and I touch the object.
I mean-
I keep my eye on Panton.
Okay.
Sleep. Get bored with you guys keeping an eye on me.
Panton, how are you? Like, you're curled up in a ball, but do you have, like, are you in a bedroll? Do you have blankets? Like, are you...
I have a bedroll on me, yeah.
Okay.
In my pack.
All right. It is warmer, but it is still... It's like a fall day up here. It is still somewhat chilly. Getting tucked up, nuzzled up in your bedrolls, or however you're deciding to sleep. Radovan with a 17. You don't hear anything. The burning of the wicks of the candles above you. Except for... faintly, you can hear whispers, unintelligible. Just almost as if they're inner thoughts. You can't tell if it's just conversations that you've had in the past, just researching, just faintly outside of reach to even understand. Just nagging in the back of your mind.
Just sort of mutter to myself, leave me be. I have no interest in what you have to offer.
Otherwise, your 4 hours goes by uneventfully.
I will go wake up Anderson.
He'll give you a nod.
Be careful.
Well,
As I was
dangerous?
keeping watch, perhaps it's what that wizard said to me, but I feel like I could feel them trying to speak to me.
Uh-oh. Great.
Indeed. You have a good head on your shoulders, it seems.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Keep an eye on the little one.
Duly noted.
You guys.
Stop being a little ball of chaos and you wouldn't need a babysitter.
You're not awake. Go to bed.
I love it. I love it. Transition. I'm gonna
pee
Yeah.
again.
I'm gonna try to clear my mind. I'll take like one of the cushions from the chair and start meditating. And I'll actually eat some of the food. I have respect for this dead, even
Okay.
as unnatural as he is.
Okay. And so you begin your watch, Anderson. What do you do?
Mostly just keeping an eye on the place, trying to listen for not the voices, but like any creaks, any I don't know, walking around like behind the walls, listening for movement, and also keeping an eye on Panton.
Are you remaining seated in your chair, or are you going to pace the library floors? Are you going to wander around any of the lower areas?
Not the low. He's gonna stay on this floor, but he's gonna be like pacing, kind of like back and forth.
Okay. Radovan, where are you going? Where are you choosing to meditate? Right there?
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead and give me your exhaustion. I do not. Can't remember if it was after a short rest or a long rest.
I think it has to be a long rest.
Yeah,
Yeah, oh yeah,
but I think
exhaustion's
the
only
extreme cold is a little bit different.
That would make sense. I mean, literally, like, you get warmed up and you're not quite so tired.
I'm gonna say you don't have to make anything with disadvantage for right now.
Okay.
But I'll look at that for the next time. But go ahead and make your perception check.
Do I get the normal advantage just trying to like listen into the sounds?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Doesn't matter.
There's a lot of distraction. You know, you had a lot of information to take in. The overwhelming thought of, having to potentially defeat Strahd to even be able to leave, but the thought of having to venture into the Shadowfell and slay Vampire if you wanted to free this realm for good. Looking around, I think catching your eyes, you see books swirling about higher up, switching places in their shelves, almost as if they're reorganizing themselves. But you don't hear anything. No footsteps. Just the heavy breathing of those that are asleep. That's it.
Yeah.
Your watch goes by uneventfully.
I'll go like shake Nora awake.
Okay.
Is it time yet?
Unfortunately.
Okay. Oh, I wish I had some tea.
Just saw a few books swirling, trying like putting themselves in different places, but nothing too weird.
That's a neat trick. Wish we had that in the library I had growing up.
Well, then what would you need your butlers for?
Butlers for to clean, silly.
Wouldn't know.
Well, finish your sleep. I'll wake you guys up in a few hours.
All right, I'll have to sleep.
Alrighty. And Honora, you begin your watch. Where do you stay in your chair? Do you venture around? How are you spending your turn?
I think I'll get up and peruse the books. Compare some notes from Rose's book to like maybe a book on magic I can find in the library and
Okay. The words of the Lich resonating with you as you settle down to study the words in the book that Rose had given you. Words that you did not remember seeing before, starting to form. Spells, arcane, in nature. And as you read them, wanting more than anything to learn the powers that are held within, you feel a tingling, one that you haven't felt in weeks, along the spine of your back. Burning sensation as the words scrawled in this book seem to click deep into your mind. You recall that burning sensation the first night that it happened. The arcane tattoos that had etched themselves into your back now gain an additional character. You feel you had gained much knowledge from reading this book, and as you flip more pages, you start to have the understanding of the wards, the magic used to conceal them, until the reader is ready to absorb them.
She's still protecting me. She wants to be free. This is a sign.
Roll a perception check with disadvantage.
Sure. Yeah, that tracks.
As you found a few books, found yourselves curled up in a spot, still facing the stairwell, watching Radovan, watching the darkness, watching Panton as you're glancing up from your studies. Before you know it, time has lost to you, just consumed by the magical powers of the book, drawing you in, seeking to find more knowledge of the arcane. As if the entities inside these amber sarcophagi can read your very thoughts. Panton, you hear,
Yes.
"At last you have come. I have awaited your arrival for quite some time."
Am I sleeping through this? And like, is this like a paralysis dream where I can't interact or anything like this? Like, how is this working?
You can respond through your mind. Like it reads your thoughts in your sleep.
Are you looking for a champion?
Do you seek more power? Or do you seek to be free from my grasp?
I'm always seeking more power. I need control.
If that is the case, come to me.
Where are you?
You don't hear anything, but you are drawn downstairs. Give me a stealth check.
Oh, that's sleight of hand. Come on, baby. Whammy, whammy.
It beats a 4. Climbing over
Yeah,
the...
I'm definitely studying my book instead.
climbing over the railing and tiptoeing down the stairwell. You feel the draw is near, the whispers getting louder. I'm right here. And immediately on the western wall, you see a shadowy form swirl to the front of the amber sarcophagus, making its presence known. Consume. Seek me. Touch me. Know me.
Gross.
What are you?
I am everything you wish for me to be. I can give you power beyond your wildest dreams. Make you ruler of your own kingdoms. I require a pact. Souls. You must kill. Feed me the souls I desire, and I can make a kingdom for you.
You leave my sister alone.
There are no restrictions to my power. You either take them as they are, or you leave them be.
This sarcophagus that I'm looking at, is there something of it that I can... Do I have to touch the sarcophagus, or is there something that I could pick up from this? Clearly, if I touch it, I'm agreeing with this pact, at least in my mind.
Looking around, you don't see anything. Yeah, just the large amber sarcophagus just alone in this kind of hole in the wall. This alcove. Touch.
I will.
And as you touch,
Yes.
one last time, do you wish for power? Or do you wish to be free? You can keep the powers that I have bestowed upon you. Your sister, everyone you know, will be out of my reach. But you will free me to find my own new champion. Or you can be my champion. Metagame knowledge, just know that either decision that you make isn't going to impact like what class you multi-class into.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
This is just simply narrative.
It's fine. I will touch to become a champion.
As you press into the amber sarcophagus, closing your eyes, you feel an incredible wild magic surge coming forward. Immediately, the power within you rushing up through your body, out through your fingertips, and the amber sarcophagus shatters. Everyone is now awake. There is no sleeping through the noise that had just occurred. Panton, realizing what you had done, you quickly glance down and you see a sliver of amber that still contains the dark vestige, the power. Probably smaller than the size of a fist.
I'm going to grab it up.
Shortly after this happened, just moments, doors. What have you done?
What do you mean? We've been here.
What's going on? What was that?
Radovan wakes up, sees that Panton isn't there, immediately starry form, and like bounds down the stairs.
It does not take long as you round the corner and you turn off to the left and you see Panton standing there. As you look down, you see the light of the shadow that he creates, and the shadow filling the entire alcove behind him, a much larger shadow than his small form would ever normally create. But you see him standing in front of shattered amber sarcophagus.
I'm going to... Is it...
The chalice or the dragon, I think, are your choices. Plus the
Oh.
archer.
Yeah. I guess we'll go dragon. And I actually have we leveled up over the long rest, right? Or did this interrupt it? Am I not?
I'll say that this
I think it was
happened
right
at the end.
at the end.
Yeah, right at the
Yeah.
end. Convenient for Panton.
Then I don't bound down the stairs. The rage and like the realization of what probably has happened fills me up such that I levitate off the ground and kind of like spiral down into the space. And
What's going
I will
on?
cast-
What's happening?
let's see.
Look up from my
This is-
books.
Can I follow Radovan like down the stairs, just seeing he's in a rush?
Yeah?
Does charm monster work on people?
I
This is a
believe-
creature.
Yes,
Do people count as creatures?
they do.
Yeah,
Charm
yeah.
monster is a more powerful person of charm person because it encompasses everything. I believe that's how it's ruled.
Yeah.
Okay. Cast this on Panton.
Wow.
DC 16.
What was that noise? Anderson, where are you going? And I'll get up and follow them.
Yeah, Temperance is gonna also follow down. Like, what the fuck? Where's Panton?
John, you saw that message that I sent, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're able to do so. Go ahead and make your wisdom save.
So I'm a monster now, eh? I'm a monster.
I
okay?
mean, it's
I know.
It's just a charm spell.
yeah,
That
it's it says that charm monster's main quality isn't that it works on monsters, but it's more versatile than charm person. Basically, it works on
Everything.
everything.
Sure. Fine.
Okay.
What have you done?
What exactly is the point of this spell? Is it just to make him
Yeah,
friendly towards
exactly.
you, or is it like he's enthralled with you?
Can you throw the spell description up?
Oh,
For me?
yeah.
It just says the charm creature is friendly to you. It just says you're friendly to him. It doesn't say
Oh, wait.
like that.
It's not like Zone of Truth or anything.
Yeah, it's not like Zone of Truth where he's gonna have to feed but like he can't be hostile. And I mean, realistically, if he was a friend, he would be willing to give some information, not having to give all of it. But he wouldn't outright lie to you, I don't think.
I was compelled.
And
when I turn around, is there a gaping wound in me, or is it all healed over or anything like that from what I messaged you?
yeah, where?
My belly.
Okay. You're not sure. You know that you can still feel it. But I mean, realistically, you'd have to look at it to see. It was a very
Well,
instantaneous thing.
He was asking if Radovan can see it. Is I think what the point was.
Well, no, I mean, like, yeah, would Radovan be able to see a wound in my gut, or is it all like?
I think okay, like it's pretty clear what happened. I think with you wouldn't have tried to puncture your clothes. I think you would have discreetly done it under your under your shirt as to not have but no, from the outside you cannot.
Okay. I was compelled.
And before Radovan gets to ask any other questions, this lich... Compelled to what? Free him, what have you done?
What have you done, Panton?
What I needed to do.
Needed.
And what
For
exactly
this-
does that mean?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You just... What the hell is going on?
The one
Give him a
thing
minute.
you told us.
Nora,
What? Panton, you've changed.
this entire time, we've been looking for a way to control, to contain this. And all the people that we've met, all the people that we've talked to, have just been disappointment.
We haven't talked to everybody in the world. There's still hope, Panton. What have you done?
I can't keep waiting.
No.
I can't keep talking to everybody. There's this one chance,
But at what
and I'm
cost, Panton?
taking it.
What did you pay for this?
See, like Radovan's the starry form like is kind of swelling, and it takes considerable effort for him to kind of maintain this charm. The dragon form helps, and his eyes kind of flare with this kind of like astral radiance.
But what
Oh.
what cost, Panton? What have you become? You've changed since we arrived here.
I'm still
You're
me.
colder. You're more reckless.
Nora, I've always been reckless. Mom and Dad have known that for the longest time. And that is why they abandoned me. That's why they left me.
They were just confused and frightened. It was a momentary weakness. Our plan was to get you under control and go back. That was always our plan.
And I'm looking for control now. And for once, I think I know that I found power to control me.
I will not let this happen again. And he reaches out and he is casting Paralyzing Touch. I need you to...
I will counter spell.
Is that a spell or an ability?
It's an ability.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
okay,
not.
that's
It's not.
a spell,
Sorry, it's
okay.
not a. It's not a spell.
That's fine. If it's
Um,
not a spell, then so be it.
I'll say, don't worry, my friend. You've made a grave error, but our host here will help you.
I need
I'm
you
gonna
to
take a
make
step
a
back.
Constitution saving throw for me.
Oh,
Tears
wait.
in my eyes.
You know what?
I'm just wondering if I want to use Tides of Chaos on this.
That saves.
What are you doing?
You must be stopped. I cannot allow you to go free. Please do not make me kill you.
He is trying to help you, my friend.
He's trying to hurt me.
No, no. Something is trying to control you.
No, I'm trying to control it.
I know you are. You must resist. Trust us.
He now casts Power Word Stun.
Damn you, dude! Get off of mine!
You're free to cast Counterspell if you would like.
And Nora
I
takes
will-
another step back.
I will cast Counterspell at 4th level.
Okay. What is it? 10 plus, I guess,
Yeah,
4?
this is an
You need a...
18 check.
Yeah.
Let's see. Using my spellcasting ability, the DC equals 10 plus the spell's level.
Which is 8. So 18.
Does it matter if I were to cast that at a 3rd level or a 4th level?
It does. I think it's one better. It makes it a little easier to beat.
That's it?
Doesn't.
Or
I-
I guess
It
if
doesn't-
it meets, yeah.
I think
I
if you
think-
cast it higher, then you can automatically beat something. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you would
Let's-
need to cast that. at
Then
8th
I would
level,
cast it at 3rd. Then I would, because casting it at a higher level doesn't help me unless it is that spell level. And I think Power Word Stun is a much higher.
Yeah,
spell
we're
level than
we're
I
not
have.
quite
It-
there yet.
yeah.
All right, so I need to roll a DC 10 plus my spell modifier. So that's a. So I just roll a charisma check then, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Fails.
Yeah. Given the
That's it.
fact that you
Look.
have 100 and he is now stunned.
Anton?
Oh, it's just a Constitution. Oh wait, never mind. Yeah,
I
that was the
did
counter
use
spell.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now
yeah.
he needs to make a con save.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait. Or, no, he
please-
has less than 150 health, so he's
Yeah.
automatically stunned.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's right.
Please,
How do you
Please,
know
can
I
you-
only have 150 health?
because everyone has under, even Anderson has under 150 health.
Yeah.
please, can you fix him? Please, I'm sorry. He's just a scared little boy. Please, can you undo it? I'm so sorry.
He takes Panton, carrying him up the stairs, actually levitating up to the balcony, and opens up the secret door and pushes him inside. Panton kind of crumbles down to the floor, still stunned, and he shuts the door, and you see a very frustrated Lich.
And Nora just crumples to the ground and sobbing.
I invited you into my home. I fed you. I gave you information. More information than I thought you ever would have needed, but you asked questions, so I gave it to you, hoping that you would understand the dangers, the severity of the powers that you are dealing with.
This is to Panton directly, right?
This is to everyone.
Well, no, this is to us.
Sure,
This is all
Oh.
of us.
Yeah.
Look, sir, I don't even really know what's going on with him.
We didn't know he had plans to do this. I'm so sorry.
The
Did something
halfling
happen to him? What?
seemed meddlesome at best, but he said he was compelled. I did have him charmed. I don't think he lied to me.
I'm just trying to understand what the hell happened to him.
I'm gonna turn on Temperance. Did you know anything about this?
We only just became friends. If I had known something, I would have been there with him.
Look, sir.
Deception
whatever's
check.
happening-
I guess that was like
Why?
odd. Like it was a
Okay, but like a lie of omission is still a lie, though.
yeah.
She didn't know about his power, only that he invaded her dreams once.
We say like maybe
She knew that they were
she's
linked, but
I think you
something
should
she's
still
not
do a
telling us, or
persuasion
Yeah.
check.
She's still being
I
secretive.
think you
though.
need to persuade us
Okay.
that you're not part of this.
While all of this has happened,
so am I deceiving or am I persuading? I would say.
I don't know, are you lying?
I don't think so.
Then you're persuading.
the Lich is zooming around. You see books, tomes just flying off the shelf, just magically coming down to him as he is coming back, and quickly like clears the table of the food, and just immediately laying out these books and scrawling through them,
I'm gonna basically like beg. He's a child. He didn't know what he was doing. I'm certain he's had a troubled life. I know what he did was bad, but please help him. Please find it in your heart to help him.
Anderson, take Nora somewhere else.
Or, come on.
But
He needs to be left alone. You want Panton to be fixed?
don't
you
hurt
gotta let
him.
him do his studying.
I'm sure he didn't mean any harm. He didn't know any better.
I just like kind of take her by the shoulder and begin like leading her away.
I'll let him. Just lean into Anderson and sob.
What can I do to help?
I don't know. I've never had to deal with such a thing like this.
What about your previous apprentice, Strahd? How did he break it? How did he...
He didn't. That is why you are here.
break the sarcophagus.
Oh,
I know the
I
most
wasn't
powerful.
there when he broke it.
Oh.
Very eerily similar to exactly how this happened. I was here, I answered questions, I taught things, and then before I knew it, the power consumed him. He came while I was away, rather in my quarters. I hear a crash, I come running. I thought at first everything was fine. Relatively speaking, I thought the god had just been let free, which it had. The pact is made. There are certain conditions that must be made for that particular god to happen. For vampire, it had to do with blood, sacrifice of someone he cared about.
Who was held in that space that our little friend just cracked open?
Zagan, the Duke of Disappointment.
What is his pact?
I don't know.
Perhaps we
What
could
sort of
break it
nature?
if
You
you're
said
that
Strahd had to
concerned.
Sorry, what was that, Temperance?
I said perhaps we could break it if you're so concerned with that.
Break what?
His pact. If he can't fulfill it, he can't receive his power, right?
I don't know what his pact is. I didn't know what Vampire's pact was until it was fulfilled.
So he must have fulfilled it already.
No, you're not understanding. I'm sorry, I'm flustered, I'm not explaining. The breaking of the Amber Sarcophagus only frees the dark power to return to the Shadowfell, its material play, its home realm. Then it has more leverage, more power to give as the souls of the people that its new champion kills, feeds into this Dark Lord. If for Vampire it was something along the lines of the blood sacrifice of a loved one killed by his own hand. It was something about the death of Tatiana that triggered the Vampire's Pact. I saw him transform there on that very rooftop. He was shot, hundreds of arrows loose by the guard. And as he died, he became Vampire Resurrect. I do not know what pact Zagan wants of your friend, your companion. I do not know. There's no way for me to find out. I am sorry to tell you. I am not going to be able to allow him to leave. He will die by my hand.
I can't let you do that.
John, did you see the messages that I sent you?
No, I didn't. I was narrating.
That's fine. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay.
The moment he says that, I will thunder step away from him.
I mean, the door is closed. You're in the space between.
That's fine. I just want to get away from underneath him.
He's not even in the same room as you.
Oh, he's not. Oh, okay. I thought
Yeah,
they
he
were
closed
all
the
in
door
different-
behind him. He threw
Yeah,
you in the room.
you
Okay,
are
gotcha.
you
Okay.
are in the
I'm by
the
myself
tiny
then.
secret compartment. He is
Okay, got it. Okay.
yeah, with the rest of them. You hear talking outside. Give me a perception check to see if you can understand the muffled voices from within the next room.
Nope.
You can't. Still shaking off the feeling of being stunned by a very powerful spell. Struggling to, like, even ear against the door if you wanted to. Struggling to hear between these walls.
I'm looking for a way out of this room at this point.
And you defeat him? He's taken on the...
He has struck a bargain, but he has not fulfilled his end of the deal yet. He does not gain this ultimate power until after the bargain has been fulfilled.
As for you, Temperance, I can tell that you're fond of the little one, but... can't let another Strahd be created.
I know of one way here in this book, but I don't know if you'll like it.
What is it?
He will not remember any of you. It's very,
And this
very
is the only
powerful.
way you'll allow him to leave?
If he forgets he made the pact, then it's as if it was never made.
Does that seem like a suitable alternative to death?
Yeah, so it's either he forgets everything and everybody, or he dies.
Now, okay, does that extend to like us and Enora, or just the three of us?
That would depend on how resilient he is to retain his memories.
Wait, sorry, are Engine and Enora still within like hearing
I
range
know where
of
you
this?
guys went, but
Yeah, I don't
Well,
know
I
where
was
you went.
with you.
Yeah. Sorry, I
You
was
just
asking
guided
that
her
out of
away.
character.
Okay, I thought we were just off to the side in the same room, unless you took me
Okay.
out of the room. But
Yeah.
we were also told that not to wander because it was dangerous and it's very cold downstairs.
Okay,
Yeah, it
so
is
we'll
very cold
probably,
downstairs.
We can probably hear all this then. Okay. Honestly, do it.
I mean, if it saves his life and doesn't get him wrapped up in this
Can we at least give him the option?
of death or memory
He's not
loss?
exactly in the right mind right now.
You all seek to control him all the time, and he is the only person I know that has suffered even a fragment of what I have suffered.
Temperance, that ain't him in there. He can't make a
You
decision. He's not all there.
Need to stop controlling him. At least give him the choice of
He needs to stop trying
his
to kill
memory
himself.
or his life.
He needs to stop trying to kill himself and us.
You don't know what it's like.
short life.
You
Oh,
don't have room to
please
speak
do
on
go
this.
on.
Temperance, I didn't see you down there releasing a dark power into the world. Do you
I
think
didn't
that
know he
that's
was
a person
doing it.
in? Yes, I think he did.
I said I didn't
were-
know he was doing it.
Okay. Yes, but
Yeah.
he made that choice, Temperance.
He said he was
chose.
compelled. He
Well, he
was
wouldn't-
controlled.
He told me that he'd been hearing voices, and he chose to keep that secret from you all. He chose to let it control him. He didn't fight it. He leaned into it, Temperance. That's not the little
I
brother
keep
that I
secrets from
know.
all of you, and none of you seem to treat me any differently. Why does he have to be controlled all the time?
He's
Just
not
We
being.
treat
give
you
him the
the same,
choice.
actually, Temperance. We're also suspicious of you when you run off.
And besides,
I
in
think-
case you ain't paying attention, he is being controlled by whatever power this is. We're trying to free him from that.
So, are you saying that the control that we offer for him, that protects him and keeps him safe, is worse than this control that he's under with his dark power?
I didn't say that. I said
You did.
don't be the same as it. Give him
I'm not
the
the same
choice of memory loss or death. Don't make the choice for him. That's what I'm saying.
I'll turn to the undead guy. Is he, in there?
Yeah, he's there.
No, I'm talking to him. I'm like, is that Panton in there?
Termith, you've known my brother
he-
for several months, and that's it. I've known him my entire life. You don't speak to me about what's best for him.
Panton.
I'm not trying to say what's best for him. I'm just shocked that you think that you know constantly what's best for him.
I protected him his entire life.
Your friend.
My entire existence has been to protect him.
Your friend still has his own wits about him. He is not fully under the control.
Fine then. Someone go ask him. That's what you want.
I'll do it.
I used a charm spell on him at the beginning. It should still have hold.
How long does charm last?
An
Is it a
hour.
minute or an hour?
Do I get
It's an
saves
hour.
on it still, or is it just like save or suck?
I think it's save or suck.
I can't remember. I guess you really haven't taken damage.
I haven't, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you're still just fucking charmed until somebody fucking fights you or something. Like, so Radovan's realistically the only one that you would probably be receptive to.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I mean,
say
you can be
re-
receptive
Well, it
to
says-
anybody if you want to, but
Yeah, it also, I think it doesn't it say,
and
how do I
allies.
paste the text? Yeah, that it's friendly to my allies as well.
1 hour without concentration. Yo, that's awesome.
Pretty tight.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't say he can repeat the save.
No,
So
yeah, just save or suck.
yeah. So yeah.
Oh,
that's
actually, it's
what's
just
going on.
friendly to me. Yeah.
Oh, it says it's
Friendly
tried by
to
you,
you.
aliens
Oh, wait,
until
no,
you or
actually-
your companions do anything harmful. So I guess I am friendly to you guys.
What is involved in this ritual?
I'm going to attempt to modify his memory. I've decided that I don't have to blank his mind. I can just modify it, but I must act fast. I can modify it to make him think that he just had a full night's rest. No pact was made, but I must do it within 10 minutes of the event.
Let's not delay.
Give me one moment as I must concentrate on this for 1 minute.
I really want this pact.
We know you really want this pact, but it's bad.
You don't know that.
So bad.
Temperance just like walks away and paces. Like, I can't believe all of you.
While he is still under your charm, convince him that I am just going to be calming his emotions. That we all just got a little out of hand and we can talk about this.
Understood.
Bring him out. Convince him to, and he conjures food and drink, puts it back on the table. Convince him to relax. While he is doing so, I will be behind him, modifying his memory.
Very well.
Speak to him to ease his nerves before he comes out.
Right. I'll go and kind of like cast a glance over to Temperance, shake my head, give a meaningful look over to Anderson, and then pull on the book. Panton, it's Radovan. Look, we just want to talk about what happened. You scared us
How did I scare you?
with everything that we've heard about these dark powers that are contained in these sarcophagi.
Radovan,
You've been around for a while, right?
Longer than I've known, indeed.
Have you ever hurt anybody unintentionally?
Of course. But please, come sit.
Still curled in a
talk.
ball in the corner.
The door slides open as the lever mechanism has been pulled. You all see Panton curled up, bald, afraid in the corner.
Of course I have.
You would
Everyone
do
does.
anything to stop that from happening, wouldn't you?
Anything?
Anything.
I can see that you're upset. Not if it meant hurting other people intentionally.
I didn't hurt anybody. Not down there. And yet I was
Perhaps.
thrown in this room like an animal.
You are not yourself. There's something that's inhabiting you. Our friend is going to try to help draw it out, like poison from a wound.
There was no poison in me. But I'm beginning to wonder if there's poison around me.
Seems like you seek control. Do you want to be like Strahd, controlling others? Causing that kind of suffering intentionally?
I just want to control what I have. I see how you use it so effortlessly. I see how everybody else wields their power so effortlessly. And I am the only one that has to restrain myself.
Panton, give me a perception check. Okay. Continue on.
Oh, did I roll that twice? Shit. No, the 3 was from earlier. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I see you guys wield your ability without a thought. And here I sit, thinking about it. What happens if I do this? But I hurt my friends again.
Sounds like a heavy burden. But
The Lich
don't be mistaken.
strolls in, interrupting you. Listen, I am sorry. There's a heavy weight on my shoulders. I am the last of my brethren that built this place to contain the dark powers that are in here. I overhear you talking about wanting to control your powers. I'm sorry that you haven't had a mentor, someone capable, powerful enough with the knowledge to help you control the power that flows through you. Why not ask me? I know we just met, but I have been around for thousands of years, studied tome after tome. I have trapped gods. Allow me to help you learn to control. I have undergone one of the most difficult processes to further my life by becoming a lich.
Will you be there to protect my sister?
I will not. But if you listen to what I have to say and study the words that I give you, you will be able to protect her yourself.
As effortless as my powers may seem, Panton, I've lived a long life, at least in this lifetime, as an elf, mastering them. There are no shortcuts.
Come,
No easy ways out.
sit as friends. There is no threat to you here. As I said, I am sorry.
So I know I'm under the effect of the charm spell from Radovan, but this guy, the Lich,
Yeah, he's not I mean,
he's not an
he's a
ally.
neutral party. I don't think he's been around long enough to be considered an ally.
No.
He is very persuasive, though. He sounds genuine.
Can I roll an insight check on that?
I reminded
Yeah,
you
sure.
like 2 hours ago.
Because I do
Nope.
not trust him.
I know. So go ahead and do a load real fast. This is your punishment. Remember, only listen to music, no watching videos.
That's perception, not persuasion. Hold on a second.
Huh? Thank you.
Where did it go? Does he not have?
I will let you get out of doing the cast iron, and I will do it myself. But the rest of it, I need done. Huh?
Somebody's in trouble.
That's a charisma, right? Okay, so it's +3, so it's a 13 instead of a 19.
Okay.
He seems genuine.
Do I hear any voices?
I know that it might be scary, but remember, we are masters of deceit and deception. Let them play their evil game. I will always be with you.
Panton will get up and
We'll wrap it up
slowly-
here in a second. Sorry, guys.
Fine.
Oh,
I didn't
no,
expect this
good.
to happen. Shit.
This is super intense.
Panton will step out of the room. And give the Lich a mistrustful eye, but down in the chair there.
Never mind.
The Lich sits down next to you. Listen, I know you're scared, but it's all
So
gonna
scared.
be all right. We can fix this. Nobody has to be hurt. We can just start over. Pretend like the sarcophagus was never shattered. In fact, you never awoke to wander downstairs unmonitored to shatter it. Why, I remember being in here going to get a tome, and I recall seeing you sleeping over there in that corner for the entirety of the night. Such a peaceful, rest here in the warmth of my study. Isn't that what you all remember? And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage.
I will Tides of Chaos and do that as a straight roll.
Man, if I had gotten wheel, or sorry, woe. So nice.
Yes. It was a nice long rest. Don't remember anything. I'm going to curl up into a ball in the chair. And I'm just going to slowly fall asleep.
Did that work?
It does not tell me if I know if it is taken hold. It only tells me I would know if it was interrupted by them taking damage or if I lost concentration. Monitor his behavior. I have no doubt that if a pact was made, that it will reach out again.
Can we put the thing back in a box again? Can we help in any way?
I'm afraid it is now probably already in the Shadowfell. I am sorry.
You have nothing to apologize for.
You've been nothing but gracious, and it's us that broke your trust.
He
I'm
takes
ashamed.
Radovan over to the side. I think you know what must be done if a time comes to it. Do not hesitate. He cannot make that pact. And that's where we'll end off for the night.